In this course, we have been exploring some of the key variables that impact the process of creating or promoting technological innovation. One of the most important factors to consider when thinking about change and innovation is context. We all live and work in a variety of settings: school, work, family, neighborhood, church, friendships. In each of these contexts, the manner in which we interact with those around us, the topics we discuss, and the nature of our relationships can be very different. For example, I undoubtedly interact with my family and close friends in an entirely different manner than I choose to engage with my work colleagues. Although I am the same person in each of these settings, the conventions and expectations differ between what I do and say at home and what I do and say in the workplace. The same analogy can be used to examine context as related to technological innovation. When we move into different contexts for the purpose of promoting change, we must intentionally adapt our strategies and perspectives based upon the needs, interests, skills, and motivations of the individuals with whom we are working. Stated another way, in the process of considering technological innovation, we are often promoting a specific product or set of products to a particular audience. We must understand the needs of the audience, communicate in a way that responds honestly and clearly to their concerns, while advocating for what could be possible through innovation. Let's apply that thinking to three distinct contexts that you are familiar with as a teacher: the classroom, the school building, and the school corporation. As a classroom teacher, you are well trained and prepared in relation to the academic content that you teach, as well as the pedagogy that will help your students learn best. You also have the ability to make instructional decisions about the types of experiences and resources that will best contribute to your students' learning. So when you think about making a change that involves technology, your decision-making process is contextualized to the realities of your classroom: time, available resources, your skills, the skills of your students, and a way of measuring the level of success promoted by the chosen innovation. In many ways, you are in control of the variables that will guide decision-making, the types of change that you will consider, and the pace at which they will occur. Once you move beyond the parameters of your own classroom to promote technological innovation, the rules change dramatically. Now, you find yourself needing to engage with varied groups of stakeholders who may be directly or indirectly impacted by the changes you are proposing: students, teachers, administrators, parents, school board members, and members of the community at large. Consider these two scenarios. The first is related to promoting technological innovation at the departmental or school level. In this instance, you generally have daily contact and personal relationships with all of the key stakeholders. Although there may be formal aspects to the process, including presentations and meetings, you also have the luxury of leveraging your personal relationships through dialogue and face-to-face negotiation of a plan that meets the needs of all involved parties. Although things can always get messy and there are always unanticipated variables, at this level, the ingredients of the change process can be managed rather easily and directly. The next scenario, however, is where the rules change in dramatic ways. Now we move to considering technological innovation at the school corporation level. The implications of change at this level are greatly magnified across a number of diverse subgroups. You may know some of the key decision makers in your school corporation, but it is likely that you will also be communicating your proposed plans for change to large groups of people whom you have never met. This requires attention to detail, more intentional planning, a variety of communication strategies, the ability to think on your feet, and perhaps a willingness to make needed adjustments to your chosen course of action. In summary, consider these rules of thumb when thinking about the varied contexts in which you will be promoting technological innovation. As former President Bill Clinton observed, the price of doing the same old thing is far higher than the price of change. This is particularly true of innovation and technology. We must always model and advocate for keeping pace with the tools that will help our students learn. We live in a world that is moving at an unbelievable pace related to the creation of new technologies. Our students must be prepared to effectively navigate that environment. Henry David Thoreau noted that things do not change, we change. Although we may view our task as promoting new or different forms of technology, it is the people who use that technology who will be our greatest advocates or opposition. Change is ultimately about people. Always remember that. Finally, consider the words of Atticus Finch in the book To Kill a Mockingbird. You never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view, until you climb into his skin and walk around in it. We may understand the technology and what it can do, but we must always consider the people who will use that technology, their feelings, their fears, and their needs. We encourage you to be a change agent in your classrooms, your schools, and the corporations and communities in which you work. In each of these settings, take the time and effort to understand and define the context of what you are hoping to accomplish. It can make all the difference.